What are modern day feminists even fighting for? Ask them. The first wave is very clear of what the girls were fighting for. The second wave, even more clear what they were fighting for. But ask any feminist now and it's the patriarchy or systemic sexism. Here's the problem. If you ask 10 different feminists what they're fighting for today, you're gonna get 10 different answers. Nobody can really define what their target enemy is, and it's a moving target. Patriarchy, conveniently enough, is whatever pins the man against the woman's success. It became a built-in excuse as to why women can't succeed in their own lives, whether it be professional or personal. So the truth is, if you don't have a defined enemy, then you're not fighting oppression, you're just fighting accountability, and you're looking to stir chaos.
Oh, and a lot of you 100 Zero girlies have repackaged the framework of sex work into your personal relationships. Because traditional relationships, it's just sex work. He should pay for me because I'm the prize. I'm an object that he's continually paying to have access to. What is that but not sex work? The Wizard Liz, Shara 7, that's the framework of sex work. It's not feminism, baby girl. And I love my sex workers, but the idea of sex work is inherently exploitative and anti-feminist, and I'm so excited to argue with people in the comments about that too.
Alright, I'm gonna say it. Some of y'all aren't gonna like it, but even though I'm saying it looking like a hot mess, it doesn't make it any less true. If women can leave a marriage just because they're unhappy, then men can leave a marriage just because they're unappreciated. We praise women for choosing themselves when they're walking away from a good man. He's been faithful, he's been consistent, but when a man says he's done for being taken advantage of, feeling like he's not appreciated, all of a sudden he's a bad guy. So why is her happiness validated, but his exhaustion is not? Why is finding her self-empowerment, but his boundary is selfishness? Marriage is supposed to be a two-way street. So if it's okay that a woman checks out emotionally, and we call it growth, men can walk away when they feel like they're being treated like background characters in a story. So let's talk about it. Are men allotted the same graces that women are given when they walk away from a relationship or a marriage?
Okay, I can kind of see how you're using this as an argument, but like something so small as opening a door for a woman makes them so happy. And if you know that something that little that takes barely any effort from you goes so long in a relationship, why not just do it? I'm sorry. Do we just no longer believe in making women happy? Like, you can argue flowers cost money, taking them out to dinner costs money. Okay, go out to a field and pick a flower for them. Pick them something out of the grass that you're walking on the sidewalk with. Make sure that they are not standing on the sidewalk that's closest to the street. It's the little things. It's the tiny little things. And I get it. It does go into gender roles. I do understand that. But like something so small that makes them so happy, it goes such a long way and you're just not willing to do it. That's crazy. Like, that's insane to me. Yes, gender roles, sure, argument. Yes, patriarchy, yes, argument. But like, it takes nothing from you. It takes 1 ounce of effort from you, and that's it. So why not just do it?
I just wonder why women are able to think of all the ways that a man can please them, but with all this brain power, they can't figure out a way to please their man.
To be independent, I don't need a man, I can do this all on my own.
A few moments later.
I just found out today that my ex-husband is engaged and I'm unwell. And like, even though, yes, it was me that was like, hi, I want divorce. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. It brings up all these feelings. It brings up all this like stuff. And we have a kid and it brings up all this stuff around him.
I need to center myself in the middle of this coffee date conversation because 2 years ago, I made a video where I said that I liked coffee dates and the girls was in the comments calling me ugly and bad built. And I just want to bring that up if I can. They was telling me that my self-esteem was low because they was telling me that my self-esteem was really low and that I didn't value myself because I was willing to go on a coffee date and I was disrespecting myself. And I just want to bring that up. I feel like now's the time to bring that up since we're talking about this. The girls was telling me that I really shouldn't even be speaking about dating because there's no reason that any man would even want to talk to me or look at me. Again, because I'm bad built and ugly apparently. The girls said to me, they said to me that because I don't wear a wig, that I don't even know anything about dating. So why am I opening my mouth about this? This is what the girls told me. The girls was in my comments telling me that I was making it hard for them because I was willing to accept the crumbs. The crumbs is the coffee date, okay? Then the young lady comes on here and says that she's not interested. She said, hell no, I won't go, for a coffee date. And she went to McAllister's. And I was like, I haven't been to a McAllister's in years. I was like, is there one near me?
Did you say the women were in your comments talking trash about you? Thought I heard that right, or did you say the men? Sounds like you said the women.
I just broke things off with a guy because he complained about the cost of taking me to dinner on our third date. Let me tell you the conversation, and I would love for you to weigh in. He and I had been on 2 dates, talked a lot. We had a third date planned for today, actually, so Friday. But I get a text from him on Tuesday, and he's like, what are you doing today? And I told him what I was doing, and he's like, so are you free tonight? And I said, yeah, actually I am. I have no plans. He said, same, I'm free tonight, have this and that, and I'll be done by 6:30. And that's all he said. And I said, so are you asking me out? And he was like, yes, I am. He said, I can be to your place around 7. And then he said, I just need to be in bed by 10, so I can't be out too late. I was like, okay. And then he said, what do you have in mind? And I said, you asked me out. And now you want me to plan the date. Because, heaven forbid a man plans a date.
Well, he's already planned 2 of the dates. So, yeah, but go ahead.
And I said, I don't know. Do you want to just go to dinner? Because it's 7. You want to meet at 7? That's when people eat dinner. And he responded with, okay, well, I'm kind of broke because I've incurred a lot of expenses lately. So if we're going to go to dinner, then it needs to be either cheap or 50-50. Excuse me? It's our third date. You're bringing up financial troubles and you're complaining about having to take me to dinner. Like, you can't spend $20 on a new girl that you're trying to pursue? No, absolutely not.
Surprise, surprise. They're wondering why they can't find good quality men. Men are saying you're shaming me online. The man already paid for 2 dates, and now you're saying you can't spend $20. There was no mention of spending $20. He said, I'm kind of broke right now. I've incurred a lot of expenses on the dates that we've had, meaning that we've been doing some activities that cost a little bit more than $20. So if you're doing something that costs a little bit more than $20, it's probably closer to 100. 100 and 100 is 200. $200 a month, that's a bill. That's an entire bill.
I said, if this isn't in the cards, if you can't go on a date, then let's just not go on a date. He's like, no, I just want to do something low key. And I'm like, okay, what do you have in mind? He's like, what if we just hang out and have a bottle of wine? I'm like, oh, he just wants to hang out. Okay. And because I'm too nice, we ended up hanging out at my place. Oh, and by the way, we drank my wine. Also, I made a charcuterie for us from my groceries.
Well, once again, you haven't paid for anything yet. You didn't even have to leave your house. You already had the bottle of wine. You could do that. And then you decided this time, I'm going to put in some effort and make a charcuterie board. Sounds like a win-win so far.
Why do I do these things? Anyway, and then I was just boiling the next day. I'm just like, what the hell? I do not want to date someone who is complaining about taking me to dinner on our third date. That's wild to me. So I ended up just we had, a lot of texts back and forth, are we even compatible kind of thing. I am not broke, so I don't want to date someone who is having money issues and complaining about having to take me on a date, because I want someone who can match my lifestyle and wants to take me to fun dates and concerts and dinners and all of that kind of stuff and eventually travel with. So we're not a match. Bye, boy. And with that guy, my roster is officially at 0, and I'm so happy about it. I'm so sick of dating.
Honestly, at your age, I would have expected a more mature mindset. You called a man broke, the man took you on 2 dates already. What else are you looking for? You had to put in some effort for the third date. He can't even take me out to dinner. He already did. Twice, actually. I want somebody to do this, and this. Once again, at your age, you have a loser mindset.
My boyfriend just moved into my studio apartment. That's beside the point. I already have this in my apartment. I literally go, don't bring a lie. It's a studio apartment. We don't have room for things. He brings this. I'm sorry. We live in Manhattan. We're not playing basketball. Why is the Wilson ball here?
God forbid a man has hobbies. What?
I got a question. So it seems like obviously there's a lot of us single and dating or whatever, having fun. If the person that you're trying to pursue or talk to asks you for a copy of your most recent S results, are you sending it or are you getting offended?
I guess I would ask, what do you mean by having fun?
Yeah.
I think you dropped your phone.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too.
I love your shoes, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You're really cool.
Wow.
Bye.
Thank you. I lost my... Excuse me. Do you have the time?
You don't have a phone?
Yeah, do you know what time it is?
Do you know what year it is? 2025. Look at your phone to see the time.
Okay. Jeez. Why was she so mean?
A woman in the comments said, why are we like this? Because y'all are socially awkward.
You're telling me as a man, you want me to come home to you after a long night out looking like this? That's wild. I look like half a freaking lion and a crackhead. Send help.
Okay, I'm getting out. I'm scared. I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall. Oh. Shoot. We're getting knocked off the bucket list. I said we're getting knocked off the bucket list.
Parents, I don't know if y'all do this, but me and my daughter have a bucket list of like little dumb things to do. Like one thing on the list is for me to pick up a Cricut. I'm not gonna get that done this year. And another thing for her to do, I think she wanted to do a backflip off of the porch. Will I allow it? I'm just the kind of parent. I think she has the skill to do it, so I think she can do it when she learns how to do a backflip. But anyhow, we just have a random list of things on our bucket list. Jumping on the trampoline in the rain was one. We knocked it out today.
So you got a few women in the comments saying, what do you need a man for? Yeah, I understand what she's saying, though. She's basically essentially talking about, you know, we were out there being irresponsible, and we want a man to come in and provide this structure and authority. That's what her caption is about. I want somebody to come in and kind of lead the household with me.
You didn't want coffee, but you ate McAllister's. McAllister's is about compatible as far as price point to a coffee shop. When y'all talk about a coffee shop, y'all act like Starbucks is the only coffee shop that exists. Most coffee shops nowadays got full menus, and they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. I can spend anywhere from $10 to $12 on a matcha or a chai latte, depending on how I fix it up. If I substitute the milks, if I add in certain syrups, it can get up to about $12 sometimes just for the drink. So sitting up here and acting as if you got these high standards because you turning down a coffee shop, but then in exchange for turning down a coffee shop, you went and took yourself to McAllister's for an under 25 meal deal. And she was absolutely trying to be shady in this whole thing. She's being disingenuous by sitting up now and acting as if that wasn't her intention. She's not trying to make it seem like she too good or that wasn't the tone of it. But yes, it is. Yes, it is. You got on here and made it seem as if you're too good. You can't take a coffee date. And that's why you're getting ate up by the internet. You deserve to get ate up by the internet because you were trying to shame women who will accept coffee dates and make it seem like you're too good for one. And it backfired on you, right? Because you ain't the messenger for that message. And that's the reason why the internet coming for you. It ain't no different than the dude who was talking about mid women approaching him looking the way he did. Y'all are one and the same type of people. Anytime y'all put too much emphasis on where the date is or how much the date costs, I know you're not used to nothing. You're not used to dates and you're not used to going to nice places. I also know a lot of y'all women use these dates as opportunity to dress up, social media content and to brag to your homegirls about where you got a man to take you to. But most of the time when somebody prioritizes the location and the price point over just getting to know the person, which is what the whole interaction is supposed to be about, it's because you don't have pure intentions. Because by this point, we all know no matter where that man take you, no matter how much he spends, none of that is a reflection on what he wants with you and how he's going to treat you.
Exactly, and that's the real issue. You didn't really even have to say that you like coffee. You could have just said, I don't really like coffee. You know any good food trucks in the area? Shoot, man, they got a fried chicken or a hot chicken food truck right down the street. You like that? Or you like tacos? You like tacos? Man, they got a nice taco truck down there. They got a barbecue truck. Man, they got a baked potato truck. You like that? Oh yeah, man, yeah. Okay, let's try that one. Yeah, okay. So when you go get your tacos, I'll go over here and try the barbecue. Maybe we can share. I don't know. But by communicating, you can figure out what each other's like, what each other likes. She's right. She got on here trying to be shady, and when people called her out for it, then she wanted to make another video talking about, oh well, I didn't mean it like that. Accountability. This is what modern women do. When somebody said, wait a minute, no, you're not going to do that. Oh, I ain't mean nothing like that.
Do you have an ethnicity type that you like in men, or do you just go for whatever?
I've dated all kinds of men.
Okay.
So, like,
do you have a
Greek,
preference?
Argentinian, Italian guy in high school, white guy.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't discriminate.
But it doesn't sound like you dated any Asian people.
She said she named everything but Asian.
Well, it sounds like you've dated one type, but the things that you listed.
As a plus size woman who struggles with dating as well, I have so much to say about the coffee date girl. And my standards are extremely high too. I don't even drink coffee, so we're not even gonna have the discussion about whether a coffee date is sufficient enough for me. Cool, it don't matter. Let's move on. I don't care what's going on, how I look, and what I should do better about my appearance. I'm not accepting anything. I don't care what it is. If it's not in alignment with what I require and what I need for myself, I'm not doing it. And the fact that y'all projecting y'all insecurities onto this woman is absolutely insane to me. Because I'm pretty sure there's so many things that she could pick apart about y'all. Because as a plus size black woman, I got my own everything. I take care of myself. I take care of my appearance. Maybe not in the gym department. All right, cool. Let's move along. But come on now, y'all. Like, I ain't got no baby daddy. I don't come with, you know what I'm saying? Like, please, y'all are killing me. You leave that alone. I want the conversation to stop now. I don't give a what she require. She deserve it and do.
You don't even know what you need for yourself. You guys are so limited in your thinking. Once again, somebody in the comments said there's other things besides coffee there. If a man went somewhere with you guys and he didn't like the place, you would expect him to be mature enough to find something on that menu that he liked, and you wouldn't want it to be a cheeseburger or some chicken tenders. He eats like a little kid. Why would he get that? Find some. Your palate is it's not expansive enough. Your palate, it's not complex enough. I want a man's palate that can taste something from all different cultures, from Asia, from Russia, from Europe, something that's exquisite. I want a man that has had some experiences. But when a man says, okay, we're going to a coffee shop. Well, I don't like coffee. There's other things besides coffee there. Find something else there. Have them mix something. They're baristas. They're literally trained to mix things. You can literally say, I want this, but I also feel like this. And a good barista will say, okay, let me see what I can do for you. And then you have your drink. Guys, come on, man. Like this loser mindset.
I just saw a video of this girl saying, I watched the WNBA and I watched the NBA, and the New York Liberty can beat these NBA teams. And then proceeds to say, the Orlando Magic, the Houston Rockets, the Detroit Pistons. You guys know Love the WNBA, huge advocate for it. Also love the NBA, have been covering it for most of my career. This is the kind of stuff that gives ammo for the men to make fun of us. No, the New York Liberty absolutely cannot beat any NBA team, and likely not even a G League team, and likely not even a Division I men's college basketball team. Craziest part was that there were so many girls in the comments saying, yeah, absolutely. And there's other teams they could beat too. We should just not do this. Us as women are setting ourselves up when we make comments like this. This is what we shouldn't be doing. The women are amazing. Just leave them on the women's side. Just don't get the men involved, please. Please.
Listen, I date men that are worth over $50 million, which means that if you think asking for a black car being sent to you by just a regular person is like not achievable, you need to raise your standards.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, of men in the U.S. who are not married, any race, at least 5'2" tall, any weight, earning at least $200K per year, the population is 1.1%. If we change that to not obese, it is 0.65%. If we add at least 6 feet tall, it comes to 0.11%. And if we add 400K per year minimum, it comes to 0.019%. And without showing my own data, I am in the 0.06% in case this psycho comes after me. The median salary for men in the U.S. is around 49K per year, and the median height is 5'9". There's an epidemic of women on my TikTok who think that there's a plethora of men out there who they're attracted to who are making millions of dollars. Then if you can even find them, you have to hope that those 0.019% are even going to want to be with you or even be a good partner. Statistically, obviously, if your standards start and revolve around height and money, you're going to be alone forever or you're going to marry an unhealthy person. If instead you prioritize values such as communication, accountability, effort, self-development, it's much likelier that you won't end up like Nurse Ratched over here.
I agreed to go on a date, but I told the guy, I was like, hey, don't drink, by the way, so think of something that's more creative than drinks. And he was like, what do you mean you don't drink? And I was like, I do not drink alcohol. And so he's like, okay, whatever. So he's trying to figure out what we should do. I then get a text from a friend that's like, hey, do you want this reservation for this day? It was the day that I'd already agreed to go out with this guy. So I text the guy and I'm like, hey, so crazy, but I just got a reservation for 2 at Macy for this day. And he's like, Macy, like the restaurant? And I was like, yes, one of my friends can't make her reservation. She offered it to me. I agreed to take it. He was like, no. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna have to reschedule our date. I'm gonna go with another person. I text all of my friends. Not a single person is around. Everyone's on vacation. Everyone's out of town. No one wants to go. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I asked this guy again. I'm like, hey, are you sure you don't want to go to Macy with me? And he's like, I do not want to go to Macy with you. What, are you just trying to get someone to pay for your meal? And I was like, no, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you interpreted it that way. I just got this reservation and none of my friends are around, so I'm offering it to you. And he goes, no, like, find someone else to pay for your meal. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. I then go to the gym. I run into a friend of a friend and I'm like, hey, so crazy, but do you want to come with me to this reservation that I just got? And she's like, wait, yes, I've been wanting to go to that restaurant. I go to the restaurant. The guys that are sitting next to me ended up paying our bill. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I should find someone else to pay my dinner.
Okay, so he says, you want to go out for drinks? She says, no, think of something more creative than drinks. So he's looking for something. She says, hey, I got a reservation for my friend. Do you want to go? Now, Macy isn't super expensive from what I understand, but it does lean, I think, towards the higher end of a mid-range restaurant. So she's basically saying, okay, take me to dinner here. But I don't know if he actually knows her. So if this is the first date, then he's probably trying to say, like most men are, well, I don't know if I want to invest that much money into somebody that I don't know. Because once again, as we learned in some of the other videos, it can get super expensive, right? And then they'll complain and say, oh, you're just not for me. I want somebody to fit into my lifestyle, right? So if you're not spending a good amount of money, then they're going to say that you're not for them. Or if you say, hey man, I've been spending too much money, I don't think that I could go out. You think we might be able to do something low key? Then they're saying you're broke, right? So he's probably trying to avoid that.
So I'd love to hear some input for the guys. I am just leaving the gym and there was this girl in there that had like rock hard abs, literally not an ounce of fat on her body. And I was just like looking at her salivating, not like I'm into her like that, but more so like, damn, that girl's body is amazing. Like, I'm for sure gonna go up and tell her like, your body, 10 out of 10. Like, she was beautiful too, but like her body, My goodness. But question was, sorry, I'll get to it. Do guys like this? Are guys attracted to women that have like shredded six packs? Like not an ounce of fat on her? Like straight athlete? Are you like, damn, this girl looks good? Or are you like, I'm a little insecure because she looks better than me? I would love to know in the comments, because my girlfriend that I was working out with, she was like, there's no way a guy wants that. And I was like, what are you talking about? This girl looks amazing. And she's like, no. So settle the debate.
I need a urine sample and a blood sample from you. And your social security number. And all passwords to everything.
I will never understand why people are so comfortable saying the most absurd things on somebody else's. No.
Y'all said y'all were decentering men and ain't shut the fuck about us since. I don't understand that. I've never hated them so much and that I wanted to talk about them every day. You could just ignore that. The entire point of decentering is to ignore, not pay attention to, put aside. Make that not your whole personality. All y'all do, all the decentering men, women do is talk about men. That's all y'all talk about. Shut up. Talk about bettering women, education programs for women, job opportunities, business opportunities. Like something, like none of the shit that y'all talk about is for women. It's just about women in relation to men or just men. Yo, love yourselves, please. Decenter us. Decenter us. And shut the
So Kate Poyer made a video recently about like red pill feminism and how she doesn't believe it's helpful to hate men, right? But she can't help but sympathize a little bit with women who do hate men. Now, I don't believe there's many women out there at all who actually genuinely hate men, right? Even those of us who make jokes about hating men, about how men are pigs, whatever, talk about misogyny. I don't actually hate men. I have male friends. I would like to date men. I go on dates with men. Like, a lot of us who make these jokes don't genuinely hate men. But anyways, back to her point. She says she can't help but sympathize because a lot of these men hating women have that hatred based on personal experiences. And I wanted to add on that because I totally agree with her video. But I thought that men's hate for women is in private. It happens in private. But it is also so public, right? Whether you're catcalled, whether a man takes a very drunk woman to a bedroom at a party, whether a man like grabs a woman in public, a lot of the times it's very, very public, and we are just expected to ignore it because we don't know what they could do, right? A lot of times we just ignore it. We try to let them down gently because we don't know what their reaction will be. But the good men that exist out there are not public with their reactions. They're not very public with them being the good man. Now, I appreciate men who have private conversations with their male friends about, doing bad things to women. If you're having those conversations about misogyny and catcalling and stuff like that with your male friends, I applaud you. I'm not trying to discourage that. But when us women have to put up with this very public display of being harassed, of being grabbed, of being, assaulted, the good men that are seemingly out there are not public with their anger. It's usually other women defending each other in those public situations like that. There is almost never a man to step in. A lot of men just look, They ignore the times I've seen a man take a very drunk woman to a bedroom at a party. It has been all the men standing there staring, not knowing what to do, and the women barging in that bedroom to get the other girl out of there. I even heard a story recently about how a girl spilled a drink on somebody at, I think, a sports game, and she was with her boyfriend. And the guy who had the drink spilled on him got very angry and literally started beating that girl up. And the boyfriend was nowhere to even be found. It was other girls trying to get this guy to stop beating this one girl up for spilling a drink. And I think it's just very hard to see that these good men exist when we are very publicly putting up with this harassment, this essay, this mistreatment from men, because the good men don't show up. They don't show up in these public spaces. They hide. They stand there. They stare. And like I said, I believe good men exist, but where are they? It's good to have those private conversations with your male friends. But where the fuck are they in these public scenarios when I walk down the street and get weird ass comments from men? Where are y'all? Where are y'all? And I think it just amplifies women's dislike towards men, because we can't see the good men. Maybe online when it's safe for you to speak up, but in real life, when women are dealing with this physically, face to face with bad men, the good men are not there. So yeah, I can't help but sympathize with women who do hate men, because the good men often don't show up in the ways that they are needed.
So once again, modern women look at things from one side of the floor. Like, if a man isn't acting to my standards, then he must not be all that great of a man. But they don't really take into account, especially in the situations that you're describing, a man could walk in there and the other dude would see him and swing on him. Immediate violence. The man could be dead wrong, but he'll swing on the good man because, hey, you're in my territory, bro. And what's going to happen and what might happen may or may not. But what has happened, and we've seen in these situations where a man steps up and says, hey, bro, don't put your hands on her like that. Don't touch her like that. That good guy gets knocked out, or even worse, and the woman goes right back to the man who was doing that to her. Talking about, I don't want to press no charges. Oh, I don't want any restraining orders. Oh, he just made a mistake. Leave him alone. Everything's fine. And I just got knocked out for nothing. Why would a man want to go through that? Y'all can barge in. Honestly, in a lot of situations, y'all think that y'all are so much in danger, but in a lot of situations, y'all can literally go in there and physically push the man off, and the man won't do anything. The man might like try to push you off to the side, but like 2 or 3 of you guys go in there, he just gonna like leave. Oh, get off me, this and that. But it's gonna give it time for the woman to get up and escape. When a man goes in there, once again, he tries to get off, or 2 or 3 guys, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be some ruckus. And why would I want to be involved in that? Once again, especially if that man is going to knock me out cold and I'm going to be laying on the floor. Number 3, have you ever thought that the guys that you're thinking about as good men, they're not there. They're at home. They've decided, I don't want to be involved in nonsense. I don't want to be around nonsense. I don't generally go to the places where nonsense might arise. I don't even be out. I saw somebody the other day, one of the creators on here, I said, man, this is why I don't go out at night. This is why I don't be at certain places at night. Because I see, it was 2 girls fighting. It was 2 women fighting, not even dudes. It was 2 women fighting. This is why I don't go out. This is why I don't be involved in that type of stuff, man. I don't want any trouble. Good men avoid trouble at all costs. They're avoiding it. They're at the house. They're at the grocery store. Any place that they see, it looks like there's trouble that's about to arise. Let me go ahead and rush, get in my car and get the heck up out of here.
In case you forgot that men are awful, I posted a video about what the girlies are going to do if we ever hit an apocalyptic situation and like life's never going back to normal. And there are currently almost 7,000 comments of women saying that they would themselves rather than deal with the men out in the world, because they know that they would be used and discarded. Not to mention all the girlies in the comments saying that they would make sure their body was burned, disposed of, like mangled beyond recognition, because even death will not stop men from using our bodies against our will.
This is how serious the brainwashing is. Do you hear what she's saying? First of all, honey, if guys wanted to do these horrible things to you that you're describing, it would be happening already. They are bigger and stronger and tougher than we are. And do you know why that doesn't happen in society? Do you know why? Oh, but yeah, there's crime and there's rape and there's... Yes, there are bad guys. But do you know why the bad guys get checked? Because of the good guys. That's why. Because of good guys who are trained to fight, who are intimidating as all hell, because they are at their front door in their houses, and the bad guys look and say, oh, I'm not messing with that guy, because they're fit, because they know how to carry, because they know how to shoot, because they are protecting their families, their neighborhoods. They are your police officers. They are your security guards. They are your men of the house. Those good guys are seeing to it that the bad guys don't run society, honey. And without those good guys, guess what happens? You're going to stop the bad guy? No, you're not. So instead of trashing all men like you're doing right now, you might want to sit back and say, if I trash all men and the good guys disappear, I'm screwed. Then you are looking at this doomsday apocalypse situation, because it's you and the bad guys. And the only thing that stands between a horrible fate for you and the bad guys are the good guys. That's it. And let me tell you something. Strong, masculine men grounded in traditional values don't do this nasty stuff that you're talking about. These are the beta, simpy, little wimpy, troubled weirdo guys that you're talking about. But what's important to acknowledge here is the deep... She's saying there's 7,000 comments agreeing with her on some post. I don't know, some stupid post. But women have been sold this lie. Men are dangerous. Men are bad. Men aren't to be afraid of. In the apocalypse, you'd have to just, kill yourself, because if you were left with guys, you would just be destroyed. Really? Honey, they would do it now if that's what they were all about. They're not doing it. Guys are not doing it, okay? And why aren't they doing it? Again, because the good guys stand up and protect you every step of the way. Who do you think goes to war for you, honey? Who do you think, when the police officer comes to your house and you call 911, most of the times, is that a man or a woman coming to your house? Your security guards, what do they look like? And now I know, believe me, now with the political correctness, you've got that, 4'11", 100-pound woman walking around as a security guard every now and then. You know what we all do with brains? We laugh and we say, this is insanity. No one wants that little, twerp coming to their rescue. What is she going to do? But the real people who guard society, they're men. They're big, strong, masculine men who care, who have good hearts, who have good souls, who are grounded typically in God and their families, that are protecting women.
Honestly, I don't think I would even wish the environment where this would happen to women on women that talk like this. I don't think I would even wish it, because if you take all of the women and you put them in like a remote place, well, I mean, you can put them in a city. It don't really matter. You can give them all the amenities that they want. It really doesn't matter. And then you take the men that they're talking about and put them in the same city. Whew. I shudder to think about what's going to happen. I shudder. Unchecked. Maybe within a week, everything is done, right? And then maybe the guys turn on themselves and start going crazy. But within a week, probably, these ladies are, nobody goes untouched. Let me say it like that. Nobody goes untouched. There's going to be a good number of eliminations. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be safe at all. It's going to be a nightmare. So, like I said, I shudder to think about the things that would happen. And then they would be transported back to the real world. And then that would be like, oh, shoot, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. This actually isn't bad at all.
For those of y'all with boyfriends, I've never had one before, but is it just like he kind of just follows what you say and he just does what you want to do? Like, if you call him at like 2 a.m. and say, I want to get McDonald's, you have to come with me. Like, does he just have to like comply? Like, is that part of the terms and conditions of like being in a relationship?
No. If it's an actual dude that has things to do, he'll be asleep and you won't bother him with foolishness like that.
At some point, every girl is going to experience her first good guy, and he's not to be confused with your soulmate because he's usually not your soulmate. That's the gag. But his role in your life is still important because after him, your dating life changes significantly. This is the guy that comes in to give you a glimpse of what it's like to be cared for, to be desired, and to feel like you were never asking for too much. Enough to change your perspective on dating, but not enough to be your soulmate. When I experienced my first good guy, I knew that he was definitely better than the guys that I had previously dated, but I also knew that the relationship wasn't going to be sustainable long term because there were certain differences that inevitably sent us our separate ways. The role of the good guy is to simply teach you two things. Number one, good men do exist. They are out there and you were never asking for too much. The things that you feel like only exist in a movie or in books, it's real and it's out there. And number two, just because something feels good enough doesn't mean it's exactly what you're looking for, and you do not need to settle. When you experience your first good guy, it's gonna feel good, but it's not gonna be as quite fulfilling as it will be with your soulmate. And that's the distinction between the two. The good guy is like the appetizer and the soulmate is like the full course meal. And the ironic part is that when you meet your soulmate, he's gonna make the good guy look like a decent man, because the things that you thought that you would never find in another man that you had in the good guy, your soulmate is going to not only meet those expectations, but exceed them. The good guy was never supposed to be your end game. He simply came to show you a glimpse of what was possible, a crumb of what was possible. Because the guys that came before him weren't doing enough, you're gonna feel like, oh my God, this is it. This is my soulmate. He's not your soulmate. Your soulmate has not arrived yet. Enjoy the good guy. Allow yourself to be receptive of healthy love. Allow yourself to understand that the things that you desire in a man are not impossible, but also understand that he is not endgame. He is only the tip of the iceberg. He is only the appetizer, and the entree is not even here yet.
Somebody in the comments, a woman said, skipping, because what do you mean he's not my soulmate? Exactly. These modern women get on here and say anything.
When I'm seeing a guy and he doesn't have social media, I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest day ever. But when we break up and I have no way to stalk him, what am I doing? Staring at your WhatsApp picture. Where are you? What are you doing? Where are you at? Who you hanging with?
I met this guy and he texted me and was like, what are you looking for? And I was like, a husband. And then he proceeded to ask me, when are we getting coffee? Honey, I don't do coffee dates. That right there shows you're not my husband.
A dude in the comments said, why would I pay for something that's... Why would I pay for something that others got for free? God, dog.
You can't have empathy for men, and I know. Maggie, what the f are you talking about? Look, stay with me. Empathy for men, 9 times out of 10, gets you exploited. Because they don't feel empathy. I just saw a TikTok and this girl was like, my friend felt bad being on a dating app because these men who are maybe not that attractive aren't finding anything. And she felt bad for them, which is all well and good until you remember that a man would never ever have that thought about an unattractive woman. And if he did, he has to make it known that, oh, I just wanted to hit. Oh, I'll put a bag over your head. I just wanted to hit. That is how men treat ugly women. They don't feel sympathy for them. They don't feel empathy for them. They look at you like a toy. I saw a different video a while ago. I think I actually reposted it. And she said, the most criminal thing a woman can do in society is be unattractive. Pretty privilege is such a real thing that the opposite of it is so dangerous. A man will look the other way when another man is harassing you simply because he doesn't want anything from you because you are not attractive. Anyways, I love y'all. Bye.
Or maybe he might look the other way because he doesn't want to be bothered with foolishness. I don't know where you guys get this from. Maybe it's the men that you guys are dealing with. Maybe it's the part of town that you stay in. You guys have to get help.
You know what I just realized that I find very strange? That seems to be a popular opinion, like a really popular opinion. The fact that girls will ask their boyfriends to go get a sweet treat together and then get mad if their partners don't want to also consume that sweet treat. Like, if I were to ask my boyfriend to go get ice cream with me and he's like, I will totally come along with you for the ride and sit with you while you eat ice cream, but I don't personally want ice cream. That is so okay with me. I don't care if he's eating ice cream across from me. I truly do not care. As long as I am getting my sweet treat, why would I care? Are you guys okay? I've seen so many people talk about this, and everyone seems to agree. So I'm just confused.
Listen, I tell you one thing right here, right now. I need to hurry up and get married. I need to release the freak back out of me. She gotta go somewhere. She need a home. Cause this... Listen, I just need to hurry up and get married.
No, because having guy best friends is not for the weak, bro. You go to them for advice about your situation, they tell you the most gut-wrenching shit with a straight face and expect you to just take it. Like, I'm used to being coddled, bro. I was like, why can't you just comfort me? And this fool looks me dead in my face and goes, I'm not trying to comfort you. I'm trying to make you mad. He's like, if that's what it takes for you to lock the fin and do what you need to do, then I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make your ass mad. Congratulations, bro. Your rage bait worked.
I know to my core that we have far exceeded men in terms of intelligence in this country.
Just another day in the office. Here we go again. Viewer discretion is advised.
But I think it's time we start playing dumb.
What you mean by that?
I think it's time we start getting in touch with our emotions. So I'd like to introduce you ladies to what I'm calling the crybaby theory.
I don't even have to hear the theory. I already know it's emotional manipulation. But let's see.
I think it's time we start crying again. Are you being inconvenienced? Cry. Are you losing an argument? Cry. Oh, they can't accommodate you? Cry. Oh, you didn't get your way? Cry.
The pattern recognition never fails me. I told y'all. Emotional manipulation. Inconvenience. Waterworks. Losing an argument? Cry. No accommodation? Cry. These are her words, not mine. But you know the best thing about the social media platform is because it's become their verbal diary, we get insight on all of this. My OG once told me, hey, listen, bro, when a woman cries, that's when you apply more pressure. Because a lot of that don't really mean nothing. Especially if you catch her cheating, but that's a whole nother conversation. They will weaponize their tears to manipulate us into doing or accepting shit that just isn't okay. Just because she is crying doesn't make the situation no less than what it really is. From tears. Fellas, I encourage y'all to never have a conversation or deal with any woman that cries at any inconvenience or if she's losing an argument. Leave those women alone. Let them cry on their own. Don't be there to console them because the tears are bullshit. It's just a way to get their way.
We really need to move past this, like, I'm a woman, hear me roar. No, that. We need to, like, throw them off a little bit. Because the powers that be, they're onto us. They know we're smarter than them. And honestly, if we don't start playing dumb, we're gonna ruin it for everyone.
Fellas, they're pivoting. They're pivoting. That's all it is. But this isn't a play we haven't seen before. We're just gonna structure our defense properly. They cry, let them cry. Especially if it's over some shit you know is not worth crying over. For example, losing an argument. It's not worth crying.
And here's the thing, I don't believe that women are just now exceeding men in terms of intelligence. I think women have always been smarter than men. I think women have just been overlooked. I think women have been silenced. And I think because of like social media, right? And you can literally open TikTok or Reddit or Instagram or Twitter or X or Threads or Substack or YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or open a book and you can now access the collective consciousness of women. We understand the game and we're all learning collectively how to play the game. In fact, we are now the game makers.
This clearly doesn't know what the fuck talking about because collectively we've always had the insight to a woman's brain when it comes to dating because women have ran the daytime TV space for years. Shows like Oprah has touched on the female consciousness and female dating experiences for years. Ricky Lake, 4 years. We've even had shows like Maury that was centered around women. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. When a woman starts crying because she's just not getting her way, trust me, she's just trying to slip and slither her way out of accountability. Don't fall for this shit. But like any other video, you ain't gotta listen to me because I'm just a normal guy. I keep the change.
A woman in the comments said he's going to get to the point to where you crying doesn't faze him anymore because he will know it's an act. I'd rather not go this route. Another woman, I think I've seen her or I've had her in one of my clips. Simply Charlene says, I get so annoyed with women like this. You ain't doing anything to help our community, girl. This is exactly why women are where they're at right now. They listen to the most toxic, unhealed, unqualified women and what they think men want. This has got to be it. Sitting so confidently. A beautiful studio, beautiful background there, right? 66 episode, Rich Little Broke Girls, whatever that means. You got your little laptop right there. Everything looks official, but you're sitting there talking silly. Makeup is done. Looks like you got a nice top on there, no blouse or whatever it is. Plants in the background. The aesthetic is great. Modern women know how to really put on a presentation And that's probably why a lot of women fall prey to this type of stuff, because they see and they, oh man, that woman looks good. Oh, she's pretty. She's got this. She's got that. I want to be like her. How do I get there? And they start listening to exactly what she's saying, everything, instead of separating the two and saying, no, she don't. She talking silly on this one. She talking crazy. And it'd be one thing if you were taking it as entertainment, but most of these modern women don't do that. They're taking it as truth, fact. Oh, this is what I actually need to do. Oh, this is what I should be doing. And when their relationships fail and they find themselves at 40, 45, single and lonely, they'll only have themselves to blame.